Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is going to walk us through quite a few things, actually. We're going to start off with a special topic that I was pleasantly surprised that you guys chose. In fact, it kind of found its way into the full moon reading, which was to realize your power in rewriting your own story in your life. And it's a topic basically of empowerment, because I think a lot of us from time to time feel like, why is this happening? Or I want to get out of this, or I want to find a new way. And we always have the capacity to explore those different paths. And today's reading is one of those special readings where it's like, how can we affect change? Where can I sort of shift into a different gear or turn into a new direction? So excellent choice. Love it. Some great stuff will come through. We're also going to be looking, of course, at channeled messages, a 7-day forecast, and a quick check-in on all of the elements. Let's say hi to Apollo, and then we have a lot to do today, so we have to get started. There he is back there chewing the rug. Buddy, are you chewing the rug? Do you still need you want a little snack, don't you? All right, we'll give you a little snack, and then we'll get started. He's mostly a good boy. We love Apollo. From time to time, he does act like the puppy that he is. All right. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well, or good evening if you're watching in Europe. All right, let's get into channeled messages for today. So this morning, what came through loud and clear was the image of, it was actually like a very creative endeavor. I saw someone like sketching it out, very much like the script metaphor that we were talking about here. And what this reminds me of, even just in this very moment, is dream it, then do it. And one thing that we stop doing as an adult is the dreaming, right? We get stuck in the doing. And sometimes we do something so long that we don't know why we're doing it, how we got there in the first place, and what to do next. So kind of like a childlike energy is coming through, which is give yourself a chance to play in the sandbox and imagine something different. Because that's a brave and it's a fun thing. Many of us don't, it's either we don't have the support or we maybe don't even remember how to get there. So that's really what Spirit wants you to do. And that was part of today's daily card pull that I pulled yesterday and published late last night. So it was the Lovers. And I said, yes, you can put all of this energy into people and relationships and business. But the last piece, the most important one, was just like, I didn't even say this, but we'll add it here. Like, love yourself and love what you're doing. That in and of itself is like the biggest magnet for positivity. You will pull other people in that have found that same peace and joy, and you'll just have fun in the process. So that can be one of the components to helping you figure out what the next step is. Is it fun? Is it playful? Is it enjoyable? Okay? Let's get a little bit more strategic and take a look at a 7-day forecast. We'll be pulling one card for each day of the week, and let's see what comes through. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Okay, so take a moment, please. Close your eyes. On the exhale, let go of anything that you might be holding on to, and let's see what this week holds for us. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with the energy of today, this Sunday, and everybody's favorite card, the Seven of Swords. I say that in jest. Okay, so Seven of Swords. We're going to start with the inner Seven of Swords first, and by the way, it was a reversed Seven of Swords. But sometimes the Seven of Swords is just cutting your losses. It doesn't always have to be someone that is sneaking around. It doesn't always have to be deceit or any of those sort of meanings that are ascribed to the card. Sometimes it's you looking at a situation and thinking, I don't like the other person's lack of accountability or lack of honesty. And so you might be observing it in the environment and you think to yourself, I'm done, and you cut your losses. So that's actually an okay thing. However, if it is the internal Seven of Swords, then it's a saboteur. And it convinces you to do things that you know you shouldn't, because it's saying no one will notice. One more day won't hurt. It's not a big deal. Disregard those sort of shadowy whispers, because it is a big deal. People will notice, and you know better. So it's basically listening to your common sense, not giving in to typically desire is one of the things that this can be connected with. And so we want to be mindful of that. Apollo wants another snack. Speaking of desire, it's because I put the snacks here on the side. I got to put it on the table. So just like he knows he really doesn't need another treat, and I'm giving him one anyway so that I can peacefully do the reading. We all have our Seven of Swords. It might be, okay, one more piece of chocolate, one more, I'm going to watch another hour of TV and then I'll study, or whatever it is. So I'd like you to listen to the temptation and not give in. I can't kind of do that with the dog this morning because he's just feeling it. So you can, however, and by the way, again, this is for today. So push yourself through the desire, push yourself through the temptation, and also the procrastination. All of those things can be part of that card, and it's easier said than done, but this is going to set you into a positive energy for the week. If there's something that's on your list that you've been meaning to do, go ahead and do it today, okay? All right, let's take a look at Monday. For Monday, the card just flipped around. So even if it was reversed, now it's upright. We have the Knight of Wands coming through to kick the week off. Because it is kind of flipping around in my hands here too, one of the things that might be difficult is getting something started. Pulling the reins and saying, all right, let's go. So I think that could be the thing to do today. Put together your list, your itinerary, your plan for the week ahead. Give yourself a couple of targets or deadlines and stay accountable to those. Wands, all about imagination. So this is a great day to move an idea forward, to talk to someone about something, and possibly get some cooperative energy, some buy-in, and some movement, because this can be a very much rallying the forces kind of energy here. Sorry, it's the Eight of Wands. That's a very strange choice for this card. I love this deck, but I just looked at it again. Because we have this sort of Art Deco writing too, Eight of Wands. All right, so let's pull the combination of the two. One thing that's interesting with the Eight of Wands is movement. So I still like what we were talking about, which was to head the charge, to get things moving forward. But don't get lost in the shuffle. So you still need to be a leader. It's a day of productivity. Typically, the Eight of Wands is a bunch of rockets or wands in the air. I do take issue with the choice of illustration on this one because at a quick glance and with my older glasses here, I'm like, that looks like a knight, but it's 8. So 8 of Wands. Pay attention to the details too. Would have helped me on this one. So typical 8 of Wands, there's a lot going on. Don't get lost in the shuffle. Anything you set in motion has the potential to move forward. Because this looks like a knight, and I'm still going to read it partly as a knight, you might want to take a leadership role and lead that charge so that people can follow you. So you can still be a leader amidst all of that. Pay attention to the details, for sure. All right, I'm sure I'm not alone in looking that. Even from a distance, you're like, that's a Knight of Wands. All right, let's take a look at Tuesday. We have the Seven of Cups. Speaking of clarity, what happens sometimes with the Seven of Cups is too many options. Questions might arise, especially when the card is in the reverse position. Here we see someone trying different things on, like, how would I feel if I did this? How about this? You could also be looking at someone and wondering, do they have any motives? What's beneath this question? What's beneath the surface? So it's a good day to get inquisitive. Ask for details. Ask for more information. Get the clarity that you desire. Now, from a sandbox, playing around, exploration sort of energy, Tuesday's when it all starts to happen. Imagining yourself as in a different path as someone else could be very helpful on Tuesday. So I would say allow yourself to daydream, but maybe give yourself a pocket of time so it's not too long, because creative endeavors need some structure. Not to the point that you take something and, sort of like organize it to death, but it's good to kind of carve out a window and say, I'm giving myself like an hour and a half here. I'll play around, then I've got some other things to do. Deadlines help you not sort of just waste your time too much or spin your wheels too much as well, okay? All right, just checking in on my little dog. Let's move on to the middle of the week. We have the High Priestess coming through, looking good, but not trusting her instincts. So with the High Priestess in reverse, what happens sometimes is an idea, some sort of information comes through, but we don't pay attention to it. We get stuck and we start to question, can I, should I, how is this applying to me, etc. So I'd like you to really trust your instincts and give yourself some time to follow through as well, whether it's making sure that you have time to send an email, talk to someone, maybe even, this is a great card for learning or exploring new things, carve out time in your schedule. So I think this week, for those of you that are very busy, remember this, change doesn't happen in the snap of a finger. Sometimes what we have to do is iterative approach. We talked last week about this. I'm curious if some of you tried this. I got a specific number last week, like just a little over a quarter of an hour, like 17 minutes. Each day, put that much of a sort of like effort into something. Continue that. Just because we got that message for 1 week doesn't mean that you can't pull it through to this week. 5 to 10 minutes a day minimum in exploring and pushing forward something. Creativity, intuition, and any sort of skill or talent, it's like a muscle. The more you work it, the more you get better at it, the more you start to see. So just like I had to take a second look at that one card, keep looking at something and you'll start seeing all the different facets and all the different angles of it, okay? High Priestess in reverse. If somebody's trying to manipulate or to sway you in a direction, typically you can see through it. Trust your instincts. If your first instinct is go, go. If it says, I don't know about this, pause, buy yourself time, and get the clarity that you deserve and validate your vision, okay? Good day to convey a creative opinion to others. A reversed priestess in your sort of like court can also just be very, what's the best word that I can use, the most diplomatic? Persuasive energy. So you're very persuasive on that day, and you should be able to see through any sort of mirage that someone's trying to put in front of you. All right, Thursday's interesting. We have Five of Wands energy. It can sometimes show spinning your wheels. There might be some conflict that you need to avoid. The next step in this is leadership, so rising above, showing a different path, leading by example. This is really what you want to engage in. Avoid anything that is just a time sink where you basically feel like, gosh, that was not worth my time and energy. And the Five of Wands can be that kind of approach in a project, in a relationship, in an activity where it's just like, this is a lot of wasted energy. People tend to double over and do the same thing. And so sometimes it's like the movie Groundhog Day where you keep seeing the same behavior again and again, but with no change. In that movie, he had to start to kind of like, it was like a law of detachment. When he was least detached to the outcome and most empathetic and most open, things started to shift. When he tried to control it too much, it didn't. So sometimes you just have to rise above a situation, see the patterns, and not repeat them. Change the script. Very much nicely aligned with what we're talking about. Actually, I hadn't thought about that, but that's what he did in that movie a lot, was kept changing the script until something worked. So sometimes we have to explore and experiment to figure out, why am I playing this role time and again, right? All right. Let me just take this rug away from Apollo, and then we're going to talk about Friday. All right, he's very much feeling like he needs to flip the script on us. All right, Friday. For Friday, we have the Emperor card. The Emperor is connected with control, autonomy, and also the ability to basically feel empowered on something. So sometimes people come through in our lives and they make us question our capacity, our ability. And one of the sort of karmic shifts that's happening on Friday is the understanding that you are the one in the driver's seat. That's actually the point of today's reading, is to realize that whether it's the first time you kind of realize your own autonomy or you're ready to reclaim power and stand up for yourself to someone, This is the day where the magic really starts to happen. It's a great day to have an important conversation. It's a great day to set something in motion. It's also a really good time to just be at peace with things. This Emperor is not bossy. Sometimes the strongest thing is to disengage, to walk away, to say, this isn't worth my time. It's not the easiest thing, but it's the strongest thing, because if people aren't on board, if they're not ready to connect with what you're trying to communicate, convey, or engage in, then it's not worth your time. It's not worth your approach, okay? But entrepreneurial energy, the other thing here, if we take it away from power struggles, initiation, turning the key, this is the day to launch, to announce, and to embark upon something brand new, okay? Now let's take a look at next weekend. All right, so Saturday looks okay, but it's a little bit of healing that's coming through. I like that the Five of Pentacles is reversed, and actually we can imagine that you're either getting the self-care that you deserve, or maybe there's some healing being done where you love, you forgive, or you release, because that can be this card in reverse. So in the upright position, it can represent this feeling of being on the outside, looking in, not being a part of a group. Maybe we have a lot of productive cards this week with the Eight of Wands, the High Priestess, the Emperor. So you might have created something that feels more sort of like supportive and connective in your life, and that's perfect. If there is any sort of inner child healing to be done, this is the day to do it. As I've said in previous readings, you do not need the other party there to do the healing. This can involve parents or siblings or classmates or teachers, things from the past. Sometimes these people have crossed over, and sometimes we are even not in communication. You don't know where they are. So you can do the healing solo. You can just take accountability for your part, send love and peace their way, and disconnect, disengage. Obviously, if you need a little bit more help and support, you can work with a therapist as well, but suffice it to say, the other party doesn't need to be there to receive and approve of your work. The work is the work no matter what. So take care of yourself, heal yourself, release and send love to that other person, and then turn the page, because what we see on Sunday is the world. It's a new chapter. This is an exciting energy for next Sunday. Pardon the, I have to put stickies on so that YouTube doesn't get overzealous. All right, so the world, expansive energy. I'll see if I can pull another alternate version of this. Typically with the world, we see the person in the sky. So it's about getting a bird's eye view of what's going on, and then think expansively. What do I mean by that? Basically, it's important for you to think beyond previous labels, projections and expectations from others, and allow the world, the universe, to come through and say just how far something can go. And in this one, it almost looks like an angel here, but it's actually not a wing. It's all the different aspects in the corner. So don't box yourself in is the takeaway. This is a perfect day, even better so than the Emperor, for a major announcement, a new chapter, or a new beginning. This is perfectly aligned with flipping the script. This would be the publishing of the script, basically. So if you're ready, we're kind of on a 7-day process or journey into this expansive energy here. And birthing, creating, releasing. In everyday business, this would be like publishing, broadcasting, podcasting. This can be travel-oriented. This can be you finding yourself in a brand new sort of situation. One conversation, one email, one thought can change your destiny, and that's what that card represents. An epiphany, if you will. Okay? Pretty exciting. All right, let's transition to the next part of this reading. We're going to take a quick pulse and look and see what's going on with all of the elements, okay? Fire, earth, air, and water. Let me just rearrange everything on the table so we have a little bit more room for that portion. And while I'm doing that, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And thank you in advance. I saw a few people gave some stickers. I will share some gratitude later. I'm going to stay in the flow right now and get started on the elements. Let me see which deck is coming through. Maybe this one. Okay. So let's delve into fire, earth, air, and water. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're well. Let me know in chat what's going on. where you're from. I always love to see the different parts of the globe that are showing up for this reading. You're all welcome here. Thank you. Okay. Fire, earth, air, nice, and water. All right, let's talk. We'll start off with the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Six of Pentacles, balance, choices. With good choices come more than enough. So here we have a bunch of beetles that are trying to get food or their energy or whatever, and we have someone that's kind of like doling out all of that. I'll pull the traditional card while we're talking. What this can represent in your life is that you're in demand, that there's a lot of people that want to talk to you. Maybe they want something from you. And what you need to do this week is to ask yourself, how is this either moving the needle forward, or how appreciative or receptive is the other party going to be? Because there's only so much time and energy to give in a given week. So you want to be wise, you want to be mindful about that and measure it. And if there's anything lacking in your life, this is about accomplishing and achieving better balance to that end. All right, here's the card. I find the traditional one is very good. It's almost like on the nose when we're looking at the illustration. So we have the outstretched hands, the plea, the request for more, and then we have someone trying to figure out, I want to help as many people as possible. I want to make the biggest impact possible. Where's the best investment? It's kind of from like an investment point of view too. How can I take this and make it grow, get it to the Seven of Pentacles? So it's all about choices. To that end, you can't do everything you want to, but you can do more than you think. If I can put a silver lining. So something has to give. In a business sense, you would either need more time to do something, so you could ask for more time. You may have to change the scope. I can do what you're saying, but if you want this, we need more money. So it's like, I'll either do less, or you'll give me more money, or I'll spread it out over more time. One of those options is like Six of Pentacles, compromise. And it's not what everybody wants. It's not sexy, but it's necessary. And for yourself, it's pacing yourself. Not every day has to be a 10. You don't have to be going, all octaves every single day. Some days you can just rest. It can be a Four of Swords moment, right? Some days you might be really, really in the weeds of something, an Eight of Pentacles. Someday you're the queen or the king, the emperor, the empress. You got to pace yourself. You got to choose. Those choices are going to allow you to have everything that you need to make it through all the days of your life, right? Basically, right? Balancing your checkbook, getting your schedule in order. That's the other thing here, okay? Thankfully, I feel like once you're organized and together, you can pull it through fire. You have the passion to bring it through, but you have to pause a little bit before the passion is engaged this week. Okay, that's everything for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Let's move from the fire signs to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The King of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Some of you might have received harsh feedback from someone else, and the first message that came through is take it with a grain or a bag of salt. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. There are as many opinions on this planet as there probably are, there's not as many as grains of sand, but it feels like that sometimes because everybody has a thought about something, and it's just their opinion. The only time you really want to pay attention is if everybody's in agreement. If it's just one or two dissenting voices, you're probably doing something right. You're always going to have people that think they would do it differently. So take constructive feedback and embrace it. But if it's just criticism, so be it. Let it just kind of blow over you like a windstorm or something. It's not a big deal. King of Swords in reverse. Talk the talk and walk the walk. So basically, if you say you're going to do something, do it. Same thing for others. Hold them to account. If they're, we had the Seven of Swords coming through, and it's for today. So if there's someone in your life that consistently falls short of their promises or expectations, time to disengage. There's brevity, like getting to the point. That's part of the King of Swords too. So when you need to say something or do something, just boldly go in and do it, okay? This is also a revisionary card when reversed, so there might be something that you need to revise, edit, or rethink. Overall, the King of Swords is good. He gets stuff done, and the King of Swords in reverse gets it done even faster. So I feel like If anything, you'll kind of like blink your eyes and the week will already be half over. So stay sort of like honest with yourself on your goals and your sort of schedule, and slow down a little bit too and be present. That would be the last message. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you've got this. King of Swords is one of the most powerful court cards. In reverse, though, again, we have to just make sure that the accountability is there and that you read the room before having an important conversation. Lots of downloads on that one. Okay, let's go to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is literally what's coming through is, can you feel or do you receive the love that's coming through? But like legitimately, do you really understand how much you're loved and appreciated by someone or a group of people in your life? If you don't, slow down, pay attention, listen. When someone really says, oh my gosh, thank you so much, just say you're welcome. That means a lot. Don't push back praise if it comes through. We have a hard time receiving praise, don't we? And there's different parts of the world where, you know, like you don't want people to be successful, or you don't want to be successful. But listen, if you've reached a moment where you've done something well and someone says thank you or I love you, just say thanks. So it could be cultural, it could be familial, it could be personal. But for whatever reason this week, receiving the love is really important, because whether it's the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Lovers, Six of Cups, if they're reversed, there's something in the receiving that's off. So tell yourself and the universe, thank you. I receive this, and if I get a chance to give it back, I'll do it as well. So that's the better way, is just pay it forward and show more love too. Just say, thank you so much. Thank you for doing your thing too. Like, just pay it right forward and share the love. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Don't underestimate your power of persuasive energy. Much like the High Priestess, the Lover's card is engaging, is magnetic, is charismatic. And so maybe you don't realize that you are more alluring or more magnetic than you actually are. So embrace that and feel that out a little bit and see, well, can I do something good with this too? So it's kind of like, I haven't seen the new Superman, but I was looking at the old one for some reason because I saw it as a kid. I'm like, what was the old one like? And I remember that he was just a ridiculously nice person. And so you can just show, like, pay it forward, because we don't see it a lot nowadays. So the Christopher Reeve version is the one that I watched. So he was ridiculously nice. So sometimes in this world, we've become very hardened, very sort of coarse. So open up the heart, show a little bit of love, engage with someone, even with someone that you don't agree with, like show them kindness. I had that interaction, I think I told you guys last week, or maybe it was on the full moon reading, where there was someone that, I don't know, they started a conversation up with me randomly and I just ran into them, and wildly different beliefs and backgrounds, and we got into the fact that we didn't agree on stuff. She said, but you're very civil. I'm like, well, what's going to be gained by not being civil? And in my own mind, I'm like, well, maybe this helps you look at it from a different perspective, because if someone that you normally wouldn't group as someone that you could like, you meet them, then it changes you. So you can do more with kindness, with love, and with empathy than you can with pointing fingers and calling names. We don't see that as much anymore. We're in a weird moment in time where that everything is catalytic. It's catalytic. There's a dichotomy and there's finger pointing. So I did limit my time with this person, but I was civil. So share and show the love and lead the way. And I do believe that empathy and love conquer almost all, not all, but they can cut through a lot of the nonsense and get you to the next phase. There could be unexpected good news. There could be unrequited love on either side of the sort of like the receiving end. But I do feel like there's something better than you think this week. It's just a matter of opening up. Okay? All right. Have a great one, though. That's a great energy for the air signs. Let's move on to water. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The Nine of Pentacles, independence, self-sustaining energy, progress, slow but steady progress. Absent on this card is the snail, but we see someone peacefully working on something with more than enough, and he's even sharing it with the bird. He's sharing the watermelon seeds with the bird. So if you have enough, share. But this is also the power of it's like the flip of a scarcity mind think. So you're thinking of abundance, putting yourself in the preparation for more than enough. Universe, please give me more than enough so that I can pay it forward, so I can share it with others, so that I can make an impact, so that I have resources to accomplish my goals, my dreams, and my vision. You're putting yourself in that energy and not fearing a lack. That's the power of the Nine of Pentacles. So even if you don't have it right now, you see that it's going to come for yourself, and you're not even worried about the when. It's just, thank you, I'm ready, and show me the path. And you continue to do the hard work because the hard work will pay off. If you are in a position to share. Otherwise, just finish what you've started, because the reward for the Ten of Pentacles is quite good. So if you've been working on personal development, a project, some sort of even like a home improvement thing, whatever it is that you're building energetically, you're on the right track. You're on the right path. Okay? Good energy. Overall, we didn't get any tricky cards in the elements. The only tricky card, by the way, I didn't even talk about highlights and lowlights, but I think today is the challenge with the Seven of Swords. And I think that the middle of the week is one of the highlights because of the creativity coming through. I also think that Friday's pretty awesome, as is Sunday. So we have a pretty good week ahead. Today is the day for recalibration, and thankfully you're here. And I think we're all ready to start the special topic for today. So I kind of put it two ways. I'm like, flip the script and rewrite your character arc. It's two ways of sort of saying the same thing. Flip the script. It's basically saying, let's imagine that you were cast as the villain. You can see yourself as the hero, the redemption arc, right? Let's say you're in pain. It can be an arc of healing. So whatever you're feeling that you don't like, what's the opposite? And what that makes for good film, right? Or good storytelling. It's always fun to see that redemptive or sort of like growth energy coming through. So we're looking at healing, redemption. We're looking at, happiness, the happy ending too, or the happier ending, because here's the thing, it doesn't stop. This is the illusion. This is why we show up every week. A movie stops when you see the credits roll, but life continues. So we come through every Sunday to see the continuation. But for this moment in time, let's get through the block. Let's make the story more interesting and more appealing, okay? Again, if you haven't already liked or subscribed, please do so. If you'd like to give back, thank you very much. And now let's get started on this reading. I'm going to select a different deck here. Let me see what's calling to me. I might actually just do Light Seers. Light Seers is awesome. So let's do this one. All right. If you just joined, welcome. We're in the main topic now. We're talking about rewriting your character arc, your storyline. Whatever it is that you don't like about your current sort of experience, we're going to try to change it. Deep breath, inhale, exhale, let it go. See yourself in a circle of light. Pull in the energy of creation. Connect with angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters, and be open to receive whatever we need to receive here. Someone is trying to define success. Success is what you define it. Success is different for everyone, so don't even use the word success. Just use what you want to consider success to be, okay? I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. There is no like one definition when we're looking at it from a spiritual perspective. That's the problem in society, is that it's like a traditional view of it. We'll talk about it in a few moments here. Let me finish getting everything pulled here. All right, we'll pull the expanded later. What I was saying before we even get into the catalyst is we get, and this is one of the big takeaways, so I'm actually really happy that it came through in chat for just a moment. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. For everybody, success can be your, and this is important as we kind of get alchemic in this whole thing. For some people, success would be traditional view of it, which could be money or title or blah, blah, blah. But like if you look at a story like the Ebenezer Scrooge, what is it? What is that? That's the Christmas Carol. The main character realizes that humanity, empathy, kindness, like that's where the wealth is. So for some people, teaching, nursing, coaching, that kind of stuff where you actually help people, that would be success, right? For some people, we're on our own kind of arc of internal empowerment. So finding your voice, reclaiming your power. You see where I'm going with this? It's not going to be one size fits all. So we're not going to judge what one person's success will be. We're not going to define it what the group's success will be. One of your like homework assignments today is just to figure out like what your, in this moment in time, what your curriculum is for yourself. What are you trying to learn? What are you trying to do? And so be it, right? So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because it actually gave me, it sparked an idea here, which was like, let's just make sure that we're all defining it for ourselves and it can be whatever you want, which is very empowering, right? Okay, catalyst. I mean, this is a fantastic catalyst. You are the key. You have the key. This, of course, is connected with the Hierophant card in the Major Arcana. The key is in reverse. Not that that matters, but what it's kind of telling me is that some of you are forgetting that the key is there, or you're afraid to use it. And it's because traditionally in the Hierophant card, we see the two keys over each other and we see a gatekeeper. So there's no gatekeeper here. In this moment in time, and there's no one telling you what to do. That's why I even just liberated you to see a different view of success, whatever you want it to be. I'm not going to define it for you. I'm going to help you see patterns today. I'm going to help you see doors, but you get to choose the path because you always have the power. What is holding you back from turning the key would be question number one. And do you realize that you have the key? And how does it feel also to know that nobody can stop you from moving forward on whatever the next path will be? So empowerment and initiation, putting that key in the ignition. So the universe is ready when you're ready, but you have to be ready, right? All right, let me take a quick drink and then we're going to work our way through the Celtic Cross. Okay. So this little key could be floating right by that Four of Cups. That's like a blessing in disguise, but we'll talk about that more in a second. A tower can be a good tower. And based on what I'm seeing here, tower, the world and the fool, this is amazing. So these are the bookends. This is the beginning and this is the end. And ends and beginnings often come together. The star card is you connecting with the soul path. So I actually think there's something amazingly impactful that can come through. It could be the thought this week, or there actually could be a breakthrough. Because this is right by this, it's good. This is defined by the cards around it, and the cards around it are predominantly good. So I feel like you've got a good week ahead of you. Let's start with the center. So the Four of Cups can represent so many different things. She looks kind of bored. That's not the usual one. Like, typically he's in disbelief. He's a little bit frustrated. That's the Four of Cups. It's someone sitting there wondering, like, why can't I have that? There's a little bit of that wishful stuff coming through in her expression. But whatever it is that you seek, there's still something within reach. It may not look exactly like you thought it would look. We talked about it could be success. It could be love, because we have the Two of Cups at the end of this. It could be an opportunity. So another thing that came through in dreams, and I just didn't mention it until now because I wasn't sure how it would kind of factor in, but I saw like a very rapid stepping stone. Let me explain. For those of you that might be looking at like a career move, it seemed very lateral, but it was so quickly apparent at how overqualified you were that another door opened. for you. So don't take something that's lower, but if it's lateral and you like, and it's like everything else is good. So I'm just looking at like maybe the pay and title, but the environment's better, you're more engaged, and you're like, I really should be going up one level, but everything else feels like a win. It feels like growth happens faster. It could be a win. So sometimes you have to just sort of like think outside of the box and try something different. This is also very much the grass is greener everywhere else, but is it really? And the answer is it's not. It just seems like it is. So do your research before jumping into something new. Really sit with it for a moment. In this one, we literally have a hand kind of pushing this cup here and saying, hey, look at this over here. But the person isn't tuned in. So when you start to just ask yourself, have I missed something? What else could I do? A question can open up everything. And so question yourself and wonder, instead of like, why can't I have it? Just think to yourself, what's within reach? And instead of like, there's two ways to, have you ever noticed like an actor running lines? One of them is sort of like, the why can't I have it could be like, what's the word here? Deflated. Why can't I have it? The other one is going to say it like this, why can't I have it? Where the intonation is everything. Why not? So that's what, just flip it around. Put the tone, put the focus on something else. Why not? Rather than, why not? So I want you to open up to the possibilities rather than what hasn't happened, if that helps. Because there's much to be gained right now. It's not obvious though. It's not the way that you thought. It's not the way that you imagined. And so if you fixate on only that, you're missing this, you're missing this, you're missing that. You got to look around, okay? That's the first message. Growth and change, it's kind of interesting. It doesn't happen overnight until it does. Let me explain. For those of you that have a garden, and maybe you go on a trip, business trip, vacation, etc., and you come back, doesn't it look like everything grew 7 feet or something? I'm just exaggerating for effect, but you know, flowers are bigger, everything's leafier, and you're like, how did that happen? If you were there, it still would have happened, but it would have felt slower because you're looking at it. So when you stop focusing on how quickly change happens, just like that, you're going to see it. I keep snapping my hands today. I don't know why. Anyway, the Seven of Pentacles, we see a lot of stuff going beneath the surface. So you have to put in the work. You have to create a firm foundation, put in all the water, all the nutrients, etc., and then it's a growth spurt. So we see a growth spurt happening. You see that with kids in your life. Again, maybe parents don't notice it the same way that grandparents were like, oh my gosh, look at how much you've grown. So I'm going to say it to you energetically and figuratively, look at how much you've grown. You don't see it, but I see it. And that's the difference here between the two. And I think it's just the beginning. So this little sapling hasn't yet even like maximized all the work that's happened beneath the surface. Look how much you've grown. And if you actually just start to embody the idea that I've changed, I've grown, I'm ready, that also recalibrates all of the opportunities that might be coming through for you as well. Karmically, energetically, in the deep past, we have the Four of Wands in reverse. What I'm getting with this is frustration. There's almost like a question coming through. Nicholas, I've done the work. Where is the person? Where is the opportunity? Why isn't something on the foundation that I've built? So I answered the question already. When you stop focusing on it and just kind of like put some energy over here or here, I really feel like something is going to shift this week. Either the opportunity will open up or it might even just show up this week. One thing that's important with Four of Wands energy, anything with partnership, Two of Cups, Four of Wands, Lovers, Six of Cups, just to name a few. You have to embody that which you seek. So what this card represents is someone that you can count on. So for yourself, be the person that you can count on. It represents someone who always has your back. So make sure that you never let yourself down. It represents a promise that's kept, because this can be marriage too. So be a person of your word, be true to yourself, love yourself, and know that you're enough. The person showing up is the cherry on top. It's not the end goal. It's not necessary, but it's great. And it feels like you're starting to manifest that. And I have the Two of Cups at the end of this spread, but it isn't the purpose. We talked about pain being a signal. So sometimes when when the partner shows up, it's just a signal that you've done the work. Now you can start to share the time and energy with someone because there's no more work that has to be done. You can pull in a partner that's a teacher, but I think many of you are trying to pull in a partner that is on the level. So just keep doing the work, keep showing up, and trust in the process. When you least expect it or when you've kind of disengaged, then it happens. Speaking of Superman, I don't know why it keeps showing up, probably because it's supernatural and anything related to magic kind of shows up on my TikTok feed. But the main actor, Corn Sweat, I can't think of his first name, but he was talking about manifesting on one of the interviews, and they were like, well, try to manifest this. And he said, I have to stop focusing on it for that to happen. I'm like, he understands the law of detachment. So that's what we're really seeing here is the law of detachment here. You're just like one step away. Don't worry so much on the timing. The Seven of Pentacles is worried too much on the timing. You're already there. When you're not looking, it will happen. All right. This card will help you a little bit more. March to the beat of your own drum here. Literally, we have a drummer on this Knight of Wands. We have a stallion in the background, or a bronco or whatever you want to call it, but like a wild horse. And she's just having a fun time. She's not worrying about what other people think, say, or are doing. She's unbothered in the best possible way. So when it truly comes to doing something that you care about, authenticity, I think, is what we're getting at here. Be authentic, be passionate. It's a very attractive force, and it will put you in the spotlight automatically, right? If there's something that you want, go ahead and lead the charge here. So I was seeing this card before it showed up in the Eight of Wands that showed up on Monday, but you need the Knight of Wands here. I'm glad that it also made an appearance in the regular spread. Notice something magical in this. She's in the middle of what? 4 wands. So we just had the 4 of wands here. We have the 4 wands in the background. The people are often in a different location. The traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, it's flipped. So they're in the background and the 4 wands are in the foreground. Here we flipped the script. Now we just see that she's there. She knows that the partner's going to eventually be there too. So just be your own dance partner. That's what she is, her own partner right now. She's like, I don't care. Take me or leave me. And then the star power starts to shine here, okay? This is ostensibly the most important card in position here. So I like to read the crown as just like what you would think, opening up your thoughts and your insight, your crown chakra. So we have someone here that's connecting to that higher calling. The higher calling comes through on really like 2 pivotal cards. One is judgment, and by the time judgment hits, it's obvious. Like literally something has come to pass, a new door is opening, and a trumpet is being played. So souls are rising up from the dead. It's a rebirth card. But you don't have to wait for judgment to start the energy of expansion. She's starting to realize, she's waking up. She's Neo in the Matrix. She's awake and she's like, oh, this isn't what I wanted. That is. So waking up in the morning is the hardest thing to do, getting out of bed and setting into motion something. So this is the fun part after it's all happened, but there's a couple of things. The awakening is a little difficult, and then putting your feet on the ground is a little difficult. But each step that you take after that, you start to get your energy, you start to get your power, you start to feel good. You put on something that makes you feel great, and then you shine. So those are the steps that happen before you're in the brilliant energy of the star. You got to wake up, you got to put your feet on the ground, you have to walk towards that light that is in this card. So if you're not there yet, you will be soon. Keep waking up. The waking up is the hard part. I think all of us feel that, especially when I have to get up early on a Sunday. I'm like, oh, but it's going to be great. So I understand. I'm with you on that. Keep waking up. Keep pushing yourself towards that. All right, some other messages on the star. It can hit at any point in your life. Those of us that are lucky, we have it from the time we're a little kid and you've always known what you wanted to do. But some of you may have an awakening in different parts of your life and you're like, oh, I don't think I want this anymore. I want this. Well, that was inconvenient. Now I have to do some work and shift over here. It's okay. It's worth the work. If it's what you want, if it's your calling, if it lights you up, it doesn't matter if you have that epiphany at 10 or 50 or 110, you can still do it. Follow that enlightenment, follow the light, be yourself. Authenticity is sexy. Being passionate and being connected with something is going to be magnetic. And that's why all of these things are starting to happen. Let's look. We're now at the halfway point in the spread. What is the illusion and how can we flip it? That's the point today. So one illusion was that someone else holds the key. You hold the key. One illusion is that the door is closed. The door can be opened. What does it require? A little bit of work, but it's worth it. What's one of the illusions? That growth isn't happening. Growth is happening. It's happening beneath the surface. What's one of the other illusions? That nothing is coming through around you. Something's available to you, but it isn't what it seems. It could be more than it seems. It's just coming through as a diamond in the rough right now. What's helping you flip the script? Independence and authenticity. What's the segue into all of these powerful cards? This is something that I'm kind of getting from the 2-month spreads that I've started doing. This near future card is almost like the connector. And wow, the circuitry needs to be rewired. Because when I look at this, if I'm ever reading for like once in a blue moon it comes up, I'm like, have you checked the wiring in your house? Because this can show a spark, an electrical storm, because you always have lightning usually if it's a well-drawn tower card. So the circuitry has to change to hold what we see here. These are two very expensive cards. So this is allowing you to download more, and this is allowing you to broadcast more. And in order to do that, the channel has to be stronger, ostensibly. So these two cards are you. So there's a little bit of emotional stuff that's coming through for you, but this is your circuitry. And this is the program. So the mental program here, we need to reboot it. Need to turn the switch and upgrade the software. So that's number one, is that the software needs a reboot. And then the circuitry is this feeling of strength, capacity, like I can receive. So when I was looking at all the air signs and the lovers was reversed, I was like, open yourself up to receive. So to open yourself up to receive, you have to continue to work on feeling the love from within. Feel the worth, feel the grounding, feel the power, and say, I can receive more because I have a firm foundation. So anything you need to do to feel worthy, strong, and ready. And I can only do so much in the reading here. You do some of that work for yourself too and say, who do I need to talk to? Whether it's an advisor or a therapist or maybe even a business advisor of that sort. Whatever you need to get that foundation, get it in underway this week so that you can hold what wants to come through. This is a good tower. It's a pivotal change, but it could happen faster than you think. So you need to be more grounded and more flexible. So now getting into regular tower territory. Say that 5 times fast. The tower represents a necessary and an overdue change, and usually a rapid change. Also a change that you can't stop. So when a tower comes through, the best thing that you can do is roll with it and ask yourself, can I benefit from the tower? It's happening. What can I do to be an agent of change, positively be affected by this change rather? Or if I see a storm is coming, I'm not going to open all the windows and put my head out the window. I'm going to find a safer place to be. So you're intelligent about it. You don't walk straight into the lightning bolt. You go in a new direction. So you heed the tower. If you can't change it and you don't want to be a part of it, then you find something else. So that's the other alternative. You're the writer, you're the director, you're the producer. What do you seek? Do you have the fight in you? Do you want to change it? Or do you want to go in a new direction altogether? Are you tired of the story? Maybe this is something that's been repeated 3 times. It's like, by the time the 3rd, 4th, or 5th sequel comes out, you're like, this is the same story. I want to write a new story. So you can do that too. It's not always a redemption arc. Sometimes it's an exploration movie, Indiana Jones or something. So think about what it is that you're trying to do. And the Tower is saying, as long as it's different, as long as it's change, you're in a good place. We have little monarch butterflies, if you look closely on this. And the little squirrel is like, what in the world is happening? So hopefully you're like the butterflies and you're going to fly to safer ground. Okay. Let's take a look at you. We have the moon card. I think the moon was reversed. When I hit the table, I made the card flip around. All right. Getting your head on straight and not kind of going head first into something. It's very much like the emotions leading you rather than you feeling emboldened by the emotions is what the moon card can represent. If there's anything that you are, how can I best put this? It's not hiding from yourself, but it's like self-deception. You're putting it beneath this pretending. If you're pretending to ignore something, it's going to come to the surface eventually. And it tends to weigh you down. So this is the time to do the healing, to deal with the fear, deal with the anxiety, heal that relationship from the past. We talked about that 5 of Pentacles energy that came through. I was mentioning like this is the time to kind of take care of that inner child. Absolutely. Don't get caught up in any sort of competition or projection. So always between the wolf and the dog is the moon and typically a path. We can't see the path as clearly here because they put a big focus on the person kind of sinking beneath the water. So the reversal of this is to rise up, to face your fears, to walk the path. But there's some emotions that need to be healed. So that's one of the blocks. If we're flipping a script, we're moving beyond anger, fear, and sadness. They are great teachers, but they are not the best and they're not the only. Joy, happiness, and surprise can also be part, you can be taught by that too. You can be pleasantly surprised. Let's kind of go the path of joy if we can this week and open yourself up to receive something positive because you deserve it. The work is there. I see it. I saw it in the cards. Hopefully you can see it too. Okay. We have 3 powerful cards. I mean, they're all, but like these are all very, very good ones, and they're in some pivotal positions. So this is the environment, this is hopes and fears, and this is the outcome. In the environment, we have the Fool. Taking a step back can help you see this before it happens. Taking a step back can help you not be as affected by whatever is going on here. Taking a step to the side, I mentioned like a lateral move or a side step, can also be very pivotal in helping you observe this, but not get pulled into the twister that is the Tower. So if you tread carefully, this won't affect you necessarily. Don't get involved in something that isn't part of your... So I feel for some of you, there's just someone else could be going through a tower. Something around you could be going through it, and it may not be your tower to fight. And that's okay. You can't stop it. So you have to let it play out. I talk about practical magic because I do like that movie, but the aunts in that movie do love spells. And someone comes back and they were like, you have to stop it. And they're like, honey, no, you have to let the magic work itself out. So sometimes people are on their own path and they're not interested in rewriting and they have to just see it to its completion, whatever it is that they're working on. So you can't stop that. You can only control you. So this Fool card is walking in a new direction and sometimes just letting go. And that's what I see here. Very different from what we were talking about. If you're the Tower, if it's your tower, you embrace it. You figure out what to do with it. If it's someone else's, you can't stop it. But you can control how much it affects you. The Tower can be even like a job, but the job doesn't have to control you either. Like it can be something where you're like, I'm compartmentalizing that. That isn't necessarily reflective of me. It's more like what's been going on here for a while. So taking a step back, protecting yourself, taking care of yourself. Know this too. one misstep, one setback does not stop all the positive progress either. Trust yourself. She's almost doing a trust fall here. And I think that's really, really important here, is just to trust in the next move, which is a big one. So for some of you, it's just letting go and walking through the world. This is a really cool one. I was looking for a different one earlier. I like this one. I don't have to edit anything off of it. I think these are like the platonic solids or something. It's all the basic building blocks here that you need. So the world is the culmination of everything that you've been working on. It's within reach. It might even be right there being handed to you, but it's not completely clear that it's all happening just yet. So the Tower plus the world. A new relationship in which you might be going head over heels. So the traditional Tower, you would see two people falling out. I'll see if I can find it while we're talking. It's a pretty easy card to spot. So head first, falling head first in love. Having the rug pulled out from underneath you in a positive way. Getting a windfall of money. Possibly getting news that rocks your world, where it's like you have to decide today, do you want this job? So here's the traditional Tower. So you see two individuals head over heels, and things are happening fast. Lickety split. So she's on the other end of this, though. She's like, yes, it's faster than I thought, but I actually have my feet on the ground, so I'm ready for this. Luck. Luck is really preparation and opportunity meeting, right? So see yourself not as lucky, but as ready. And don't be surprised when something good happens, and don't question it. And that's what these two cards are kind of contrasting here. This is this, oh my gosh, the sky is falling, all this is happening. And she's like, no, this is just the beginning of something really exciting. Recalibrating and not being surprised at how quickly something could happen. One thing she has to do in the World card is look in different directions. One path could be a little bit easier. One door is going to be easier to open than another. Marriage, moving in, moving up, moving out. Marriage and divorce, starting or stopping something, buying or selling something big. Like, the world is massive, but it's good in what we're seeing here because there's something pivotal that's shifting. Don't be afraid of change. And know that you can break through. You can break through a glass ceiling. You can break through expectations. You can change something that is wrong. If you want to fight the fight, this actually is portending good things. It all depends on what you want. But we actually see expansion as a big takeaway in this reading. Okay. And then the outcome is partnership. Two of Cups. There's resistance in the partnership. Not saying that the partnership is bad, but some of you may have a difficult time bringing someone into your life. Whether you're bringing them in for work, or maybe there is love and opportunity that's knocking, there needs to be this feeling of mutual attraction, preparedness, and knowing that there's room for two stars. In fact, in most solar systems, it's either double or triple star system. We're one of the few that just has one. So they can be different sizes, they can be different ages, different intensities, whatever. But that doesn't diminish from the other star. The only time is when they're too close, and then that's... But this is not astrology, or astronomy rather. We're looking at just the idea that two luminous bodies can coexist. So more often than not, that's true, and just allow both people to shine. So it feels like there's a partnership or a friendship or some other person that wants to come into your life. Don't be afraid, as long as it feels right for you. Okay? We're going to expand this a little bit and take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I'm going to pull the curtain down since the sun is coming out a bit, just so that there's not too much glare. And take a quick peek here, and then we're going to expand. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do? Maybe we'll do some oracles. It's been a minute. Health. Wealth. Such a pivotal card here. I love that. love. Actually, I want to use a different one here. And destiny. Let's use one of the runes. Okay. And also perfectly connected. Lots and lots of synchronicities here. All right, let's begin first with the energy of health. I just need to get to the right screen. Okay, so we're going to start off with health. I'll pull the card up first and then the graphic. So for health here, we have resurrection, optimism, and spotlight in the form of the rooster. I actually think that that's a little bit of the two cards that we were looking at, both the world and the tower coming together. So we're looking at health, which is mind, body, and spirit. This card was reversed. So the resurrection piece is much like the judgment card. So a second chance, a chance to bounce back and find your way after a difficult experience. The optimism part, that's hard. Being able to see through the illusion of the Four of Cups, which is it's not as good as I wanted it to be. Why me? Why does it never work for me? And then the spotlight energy, that's the star. And so stepping into that energy of visibility, accountability, and scrutiny, because scrutiny does come from the star and the Six of Wands, like it or not. When there's more eyes on you, there's more thoughts about what you should be doing, how someone else would do it. Everyone's an expert, right? Except they're not really. And let's not kind of like overlook that we have a kind of territorial or outspoken energy here with the rooster. It's loud. So there could be someone in your life that just is loud, makes a fuss, makes a noise. And so it might be important for you to kind of have boundaries, separation from that. And I wouldn't be surprised for some of you if that energy is connected with what we're seeing here in the tower. So this rooster and this tower energy seem very, very much of the same, sort of like cut from the same cookie cutter. All right, let's take a look at this strictly from a health perspective. Healing takes time. As someone who's broken a couple bones in their lifetime, it is so annoying to wait for all of that to heal, but it does heal. There's something magical about the body where it can heal. So give yourself the proper time. Stitches, same thing. They'll start itching, you want them out, but about the time you're ready to do that, you know, everything is healed. So patience and healing are like central to this thread, and not pushing yourself too soon, because then you can irritate something that's trying to heal. Slow down. Some of you are overdue for a vacation, or you need more time off. Take a sick day if you can. We don't want to rush the healing process. I get a little bit of a hermit energy coming through, because these cards are all independent. The Knight of Wands, the Star, the Fool, and the World. Even this one, it's almost like they're pulling away from the social energy. They're going beneath the surface. So one of the big things that is happening here is a spotlight and some more people, or some more activity socially. Do what you need to do to recharge. You'll be fine in this engagement. Not everybody wants the same level of socializing. So if you're in a partnership, or if you're in a family where they're constantly doing that, have your boundaries, but then there's going to be some give and take. It's worth it here. I think there's at least one party engagement or activity that's going to be worth it, because a door is going to open. You might meet someone there that can help you out. So balance out the inner hermit and any social anxiety that you have, and get the support that you need for that as well. You don't have to always be hanging out, but there's one event that's worth going to. I'm going to put that out there for you. The moon card in reverse. Look at hydration. If there's any irritation in the urinary tract or reproductive organs, get that looked at ASAP. Nothing to be worried about, but you don't want that to kind of linger. And then the tower. Inflammation can be something that the tower brings up, like a rash or a breakout. It can be a break. I talked about breaking a foot, or something that's trying to heal. You may need something different to calm down this. This can be kind of like when the body's fighting itself unnecessarily. So sometimes you need things to settle the immune response. So if there's either a rash, inflammation, anything where the body's fighting itself, this is helping it not fight itself. So looking at diet, exercise, and medication to calm the inflammation or that sort of like that energy. I'm going to say one thing too. If there's anything on the skin, get it checked by a dermatologist. I'm not a fearful person, but I'm like, that's not good. So if it's been there for a while, you want to make sure that it's not like, I don't feel like it's positive outcome, but like if it needs to be excised or something, get it taken off, okay? Very important that we don't ignore things that don't feel right in the body. So that's always, proactive is better. I was like, should I say it? Yes, I'm going to say that. Be careful, always wear your SPF too. Especially with the star and the tower and we're talking about skin, I was like, you got to be careful. And that's just about everything there. Oh, one last thing. If you're trying to get pregnant, I see good cards here with respect to that. But emotions can hinder conception. There can also just be hormonal things going on. But we actually have a card that's representing birth here. So it feels like once you work through the emotions or the environmental sort of distractions, things can go where they need to go. Okay, let's move on. We're going to go to wealth. I'm going to try to go a little bit higher level on this one because I feel like sometimes you can go to the monthlies where I go much deeper on that. I feel like this can go too far sometimes in these weeklies, unless you want me to go there. So we're at a crossroads. I feel like this is enough for everybody this week because it's saying whatever was doesn't need to be. That's universal. Whether you're employed, an entrepreneur, seeking a job, or a student or retiree, whatever it was, it isn't any longer. You can try something new, and there's options in front of you. So that can be exciting. That can be good. I'm going to read it kind of as a mishmash altogether rather than going into everything. So I feel like this will just be a little bit more efficient. This Tower card can represent graduation, a new job, a move, something pivotal. If you want to really go bold or go big, do it. Otherwise, this can represent breaking through an expectation. So in a job, this can be breaking through a glass ceiling. In a family, this can be breaking through a cycle that hasn't been working. It's a breakthrough kind of month when it comes to, or week rather, when it comes to your resources in your life, your time, your energy, and your money. So why not take a different path, or why not try something that you haven't explored? And if you already know where you want to go for it. We see expansion here. I don't feel the need to drill down because this is crossroads energy. And for crossroads, that's all we need to know is that your question this week, do you want to stay? And if you stay, there may be a little bit of a push that you have to do, or do you want to go? And even with that, there might be a little bit of push. What is it you're seeking? Once you're engaged, make sure you're also looking around because this road has 3 opportunities. She's at a fork in the road. So there's not just right or wrong. There's even something that's a bit of a compromise or something unexpected. Open yourself up for it to be even more than you expect, okay? Let me see, just generally speaking, if there's anything that could constitute a challenge this week. Environment, construction, and a lack of focus. There's a lot going on. And also, you may need to step away from some of this too. Something could be toxic or distracting, and you need to find your own peace. But for most of you, I feel like you've already got 1 foot out the door, 1 foot in a new direction. You can have someone help or advise you on this path if you want. Okay? Let's move on to the next category. So we just did health and wealth, so we're going to take a look at love, which is all things related to the different types of relationships here. So let's see. Will this make sense? I know that I'm not alone. Loneliness. I mean, I think most of us, unless we're really lucky or in a very big family, have felt at some point lonely. You can be in a room and feel lonely, like I'm not a part of that group or I'm not being listened to. So loneliness isn't just being alone. And being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. You can be happy and alone. So actually just understanding that truth is so freeing. You can be in a relationship and feel alone. So really feel, I think the focus this week is comfort in your own company. I have a few people that I know that don't like to be alone with themselves, which is interesting. not judging, I'm just observing as we're talking. Because it does require, I think, just a sense of ease. You don't have to fill up the conversation or the time. You have to be comfortable with the thoughts that come into your head. And I think it depends on the size of the family and how much practice you've had. So practice that a little bit this week, being alone but not lonely. Whether you're in a relationship or out of a relationship, spend time on your own in meditation. Don't judge what comes through. Celebrate and love yourself and think, wow, I was alone but not lonely. Because I have my connection to myself, to my source energy. You can also have a pet. He's now sleeping in the corner after all of the activity earlier. There's a lot of different ways that you can feel connected. But if you are feeling lonely, let's normalize that we all are lonely from time to time. Find a way to kind of like figure out where that's coming from. And we're going to now look at this. This one I do want to break down because instead of 5 categories, there's 3. We've just had a lot coming through. And I might look at, when we go to redemption and some of these other little arcs, I'd rather drill into that than like usually you guys don't want me to look at relationships anyway. So I just made an executive call. We're going to focus on other things today. All right. Quickly, if you're partnered, here's what I see. For those of you that are partnered, things are either going to go to the next level or you're moving on. If you are partnered and not married or not committed, it feels like enough is enough and like you have a conversation and decide to stay or go. If you're in a relationship, there could be a birth, there could be a pivotal change that's happening. It does feel like you're leveling up though for the most part, and you're going to weather the storm, or you're going to embrace this growth opportunity. So it's all about growth. The missing piece in the spread, we don't have any swords, do we? Communication, the challenge, patience, and the turning point here is meeting halfway, taking one step towards each other rather than expecting the other partner to do all the work. So compromise is going to be important here. If there's something that needs to be said or done, now is the time to do it. If you're single and looking, we have a great card here. It's a great time to be single and looking. I see like someone from an outside energy that you don't know. This is someone with whom or for whom you could fall head over heels. Worldly, someone from a different sort of city, state, country, province, or background. Star power energy pulling you in. So it's a great time to meet someone. I think the only thing here is they may not be exactly what you thought. They could be more. They could just be different. Different can be good, as long as it's mutual, as long as you both feel connection. Travel is also a great way to connect with someone if you're ready, if you're willing. If you're single and happy, good for you. This is kind of what this whole card was focusing on. Now is a time for extreme growth, for recovery, for illumination, for a chance for you to travel, explore, and to launch things. And that's really what this is all about. We're going to get into some of the flipping of the script in just a second here, but let's look at the destiny. Where are you headed? And I used a runic card for this one. Seasons, cycle, harvest. So this is kind of like a combination of basically like the Wheel of Fortune and maybe the Judgment card. Because the Wheel of Fortune can represent seasonal energy, changes and shifts, and a cycle is often like ending or beginning with that Judgment card. So you're on the change of a season. And when the seasons start to change, you get subtle cues. Pay attention to the subtle cues. Think of autumn is one of the easiest ones. All of a sudden you walk out and you start to see the trees just starting to change, or a few leaves on the ground. You're like, oh, I guess summer's not going to stick around forever. Spring is very much the same way. You've been like looking at a desolate environment if there's winter where you live, and all of a sudden a crocus is popping through. And you're like, oh. Or you start to see cherry blossoms or dogwood or whatever the flowering tree is where you're at. You're like, oh, Okay, spring is here, thank God. But today is a cold day. So something is hinting at a change. It hasn't fully come through. And I think that's the frustration. That's the Four of Cups energy that is so intrinsic to this. So, because I cut the wealth part a bit, because I'm like, let's actually look at the growth. Let's see where we can start to flip some of the scripts here a little bit. So we're just going to go off script for a second here. And I want to push the cards up here a little bit. I need some space. I'm going to say, like, what do you need to be focusing on in this moment in time? So let's take a look at what's the focus. All right. You're closer than you think. Nine of Pentacles. You're closer than you think to an outcome. Again, slow and steady is exactly what the universe wants you to do in this moment in time. But like one step away. It'll be worth the work. This is one of the cards that shows the investment is worth it. All right. What's blocking you from seeing this? Either an inner or exterior saboteur, someone who is pessimistic, argumentative, or unimaginative. It's the best kind of word that I can pull. They can't see the possibilities. And they project the fear. And you walk away thinking, it's almost like gaslighting. You're like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is impossible. They just lack the imagination in this. And so don't waste any more time on that. Okay. For those of you that are feeling like you're ready to turn the key, how can you start to turn that key in a new direction? Speak it, write it, or just do it. Queen of Swords in the upright position. She's action-oriented. She says it, then she does it. Part of it could be asking, hey, I'm looking for this, or I want to do this. In a relationship, do you want to get married? And in a job, I want this position. In life, how do I figure this out? How do I do this? So she speaks it, she asks it, then she starts to find a way, where there's a will, there's a way, and she's kind of contemplating that next move. What path, what's the twist? So every good story has a twist, right? So what's the twist in your story? What's the unexpected piece that the Four of Cups is missing? So we have an Ace of Swords in the reverse position here. And this is interesting. So this is self-critical, typically when we have an Ace of Swords in reverse. It's not coming from someone else. So the twist here is that, I mean, I really feel like you're the most surprised one here. No one else is surprised. So it's kind of like it's news to no one but you. The universe has a sense of humor on this one a little bit. So I'd like you to listen to, we mentioned the signs of spring. So if you start to get positive affirmations, or someone says something highly unusual, like you should do this. This is totally you. And you're like, no, I could never do that. Someone else, if you keep hearing that something's possible, but you're the one disbelieving it, like it's possible. I feel like you might just need to just surrender to something that's completely out of your character, what you think is possible, because it's kind of like why you came to the planet. So it's disbelief. The twist is, okay, so I guess if I could frame it in a different way, it's almost like you're the one that you're battling here. So there is no villain, but it's sort of like the struggle between two halves of you. And we just need them to come together and unite and realize that there's nothing to fight, there's nothing to fear. So like going to the superhero movies, it's kind of like when there's a bizarro world where there's an opposite version of the superhero, and it's kind of like the shadow energy coming through. So you're just fighting yourself on something. And so you're both the hero and the villain in this particular storyline. So don't fight yourself and recast yourself as someone that can be all of these attributes. We don't have to separate them. You have to combine them. That's actually what this is. So the error has been this compartmentalization of all these things, and they need to come together to pull another sort of supernatural thing. If you've ever watched the original Dark Crystal, there are two different warring factions, the Skeksis and the Ancients. I can't remember what they were called, the Mystics. They're basically two parts of the same whole, and they have to unite. They've just become kind of like shattered like the crystal. So you're like that. You just need to reunify with your higher self, and you'll be something brighter. And that's what the star is here. So there you go. I feel like we got everything we need for this, but you're fighting something internal that once you embrace it, things start to open up. Work with whomever you need to help you with the inner struggle, because once that struggle doesn't feel like a struggle, then the door is opened. Okay? We're going to meditate quickly, and then I'll look at one final question for today. Okay, so for the meditation, take a moment, please. Deep breath. Let go of anything that you've been holding on to. Imagine, if you will, that you are in the liminal space between worlds, that you're back to that space that you were at when you were deciding to come to this planet. And what I'm being shown is sitting at a desk with like this magical book or tome in front of you, and this beautiful ink that is kind of glittery and magical. And in this book, you can write your story. Wherever you're at in your story, whether it's the beginning, the halfway point, or the denouement, there's still a twist, there's still a turn, and there may even be a sequel. I want you to think about what it is that you want now and next. If you felt like people haven't understood you, write a story where you can step into the light and be seen and heard. If you feel like you've been missing something or someone, make it a self-discovery story. If you want to learn, maybe this is going to be, a twist and turn that only you can imagine. Whatever you want, that's your story. And realize that the story up until now is nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to wish for something different. It's your story, so it's magical, and so it's exactly what it should be. Let's stop comparing our story to other stories. This is not an Amazon review. This is your life. So it's fine. You get to decide what you want, okay? Write it in the book. Keep it simple. I'm ready for love. I'm ready for the hero's journey. I'm ready for peace and happiness. Whatever it is you want, write it in glittering gold letters. See it light up. Take a deep breath and know that you have just connected with your higher self, with your higher power, and you've written the next chapter, or at least the first part of the next chapter. I want you to look for signs and signals as you walk through the following days, weeks, and months of your life. Take a breath or two, come back to this planet, see that page in your mind's eye. Now, turn your question to whatever it is that you still need some help with. This is the final card and final question. And let's see what Spirit has to say. All right. We got 2 cards. Not so simple. All right, so the first one is the 4 of Pentacles. Depending on what you asked me, I want you to pause, because right beneath it we have the Knight of Swords in reverse, which is don't go so quickly. The reason is it's not enough, or there might be more that's possible. 4 of Pentacles typically is something where you're not getting what you deserve. It's someone that can be frugal, cheap, or taking too much. It can also be us holding ourselves back and not seeing the value or worth. Slow down and get a different perspective. That's this card. Don't rush towards any outcome. Then this knight is running, and we don't want you running towards something else. We want you to. I talked about this, my cousin said this, you should never be running towards or away from something. You should be moving towards a solution or an idea or a resolution. So make sure that there's something in front that you're going to that makes sense, that you're not just running for the sake of running. So it's a not yet, it's a slow down, and the other message here is more is possible. Ask for more, negotiate for more, wait for more information, etc. Okay? That was a very magical and very fun reading. I don't know if we've done that in a long time, but thank you for allowing me to go down that path with all of you. If you found any value whatsoever in this and you're brand new, consider subscribing. We're so close. I can taste it, to a milestone. I'd love to hit it by the end of this year. We'll do something special, or maybe we'll do like a week of something special when I hit that milestone. So let's get there. We're close to 400K, but we've been kind of hinging on that for half a year. So let's make it happen, and we'll do some fun things when we get there. Okay. If you'd like to make sure you never miss a future video, why not give me a follow on social media? It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. NicholasAshbaugh.com on Blue Sky. That's also where you can find out more information about me, my website, nicholasashbaugh.com. If you'd like to give back in the form of a super sticker, super chat, or to become a member, come on down. I'd love you to be a part of this community. It's friendly here. It's safe, and we look at a lot of cool stuff. So I would love to have you be a part of this family. In fact, I know not everybody can afford it, so give me a second here, and I'm going to gift some memberships as we speak. While I'm doing that, I just want to say thank you to everybody for showing up. I know that you have a lot of different choices each and every weekend, and it's my honor and privilege that you decided to spend some time with me today. So thanks for being a part of this. All right, so let me see if I have the option here. It takes a second for it to come through. I'm going to try to gift a membership if I can. While I'm doing that, just a quick reminder that all of the monthly videos are now on the main channel page, and I'll be starting up the next 2-month cycle. I think I'm going to stick with that since you guys like that. So there we go. All right, here we go. For those of you that happen to be watching, I'm going to welcome in a few new members. They make it so hard here. Here we go. 5 new members. Welcome aboard. All right. Now I'd like to give some shout outs to those of you that have celebrated some anniversaries today. So give me one moment here for that. Fan funding. Here we go. All right, so we'll start off with Michelle, a member for 25 months. So happy that you could be a part of today's reading as well. Thank you. Lori, thank you for 23 months of membership as well. And I'm glad that you appreciate the energy put into these. Raven, thank you for the $19.99. I appreciate that. I'm glad that this helps you show up better in the week ahead. That's the whole reason I'm here. Kristen, thank you for gifting a membership. Michelle, thank you for the sticker. Also, Michelle, thanks for sharing some love and gifting a membership. Dr. Let's see. I'm just going to say Dr. Ev. Thank you so much for gifting a membership. Colette, thank you as well. Suzanne, I appreciate the sticker. Lucy, and Lucy gave both a membership and also has been a member for 41 months. That's an insanely long time. Thank you for your love, your support, and showing up many, many weekends. Much appreciated. Deborah, wow, look at you. You sent 3 memberships, if I'm counting here correctly. Thank you very much. Popcorn, thank you also for gifting a membership. Lucy, I appreciate the sticker. Phoebe, good to see you again. Thank you for gifting a membership. Lisa and Cora, thank you so much for your stickers. Lovey, thank you for sharing the love and giving a membership. DS, thanks for the sticker. Michelle, 53 months. That's one of the longest ones I've seen. Thank you so much. And Tahoe, 48 months. I know you've been here a long time, though, through the pandemic as well. Thank you so much for your love and support. I'm glad that this was helpful today. Yolanda and Handy, thank you so much for your stickers. Shayna, thank you for sharing the love, as well as Vivan for giving. Actually, you joined Vivan. Thank you. Allison, thanks for the sticker. Welcome to everyone that got a sticker from me. And Amithaba, good to see you as well. Thank you for yours. Always a pleasure as well. All right, let me see if I missed anyone. I'll do my best to make sure that I've welcomed all the members. It's a little tricky, but I'll make sure that I just go through the list quickly here. All right, so this is going to include both those that re-up their membership or that were gifted. All right, so we have TOGC, Beverly, Paula, Kesley, Josephine, Sherry, Pauses and Passages, Ken, Ash, Melissa, and Amber. Let's see who else we have here. Kim, Lalitha, Amy, Leslie, Aaliyah, Joitza, I think it is. Sorry about that. April, Ancestra, and Ready Now. And I think we've got everybody. All right. And I'm pretty sure I got most of you. If not, by the way, thank you. Dakota's been great about welcoming and giving gratitude for all the stickers. But let me just see if I missed any of the stickers here. So Monica, I think Monica was the last one. Everyone else I've welcomed in real time. All right. That is everybody for today. Wishing you much love and light. I hope to see all of you again this week for dailies, weeklies, monthlies. We're overdue for a members one, so I might schedule that today so it gets on the calendar for the week ahead. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves. And remember, just to kind of leave it on this note, we are always the sort of captain of our ships, the rider of our journey. Take some time today to recognize, realize, and embrace that. All right, I'm going to give Apollo a little pat on the head. He's now sleeping. Hey, buddy. What's going on there? Are you a good boy? Yes. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go for a WALK. And in the meantime, I hope all of you do something fun as well. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.